What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yeah, we're going to talk once again about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the brand damage that they've done and how that's going to affect this film, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And even on this headline from Deadline, it rockets to 17 million plus. That's around the same numbers as the first film of Phase 5, Quantumania, did in its Thursday box office, and you saw how that film ended up, right? Okay, so this again shows you how much damage has been done to the Marvel brand. Now, don't get it twisted. These numbers by any other film or movie or whatever would have been great. But for Marvel to be doing this is showing you clearly that there has been a lot of brand damage. It's kind of funny that it mentioned Super Mario Brothers is the first Illumination film to jump past $500 million in the US. Yeah, I don't think Guardians is going to get to this number, all right? And it absolutely should. I already stated on the video that I did, the Out of the Theater review, I'll go ahead and link that above, that this film is easily 10 times better than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. No question at all about it, all right? Has a lot of emotion. I thought it was very good. Not necessarily a great film, okay? Not great, but definitely good. So a lot of things to consider when it comes to how this film will do. Now, for starters, this movie is 2.5 hours long, okay? Like I said, that's a long movie, all right? Even for a Marvel movie. So it's not going to get the number of screenings that it normally would be able to have. But it's also a very dark film, okay? Very, very dark. It ends on a very uplifting beat, but most of this movie is kind of dark, okay? Some really sad, emotional moments, okay? It's some uplifting moments too, but it's a lot of sad, emotional moments, all right? And so I'm not sure how well that's going to do on the rewatch. Do you want to go back and have your feelings thrown all over the place with another viewing or another screening, okay? It hits all the emotional spots, but sometimes that might not be the best thing, okay? So we'll have to see about that. The other thing is that this is Rocket's story, okay? Rocket Raccoon. And so it has a lot to do with how Rocket became Rocket, okay? If you catch that meaning based on what you know of the character. So depending on how you feel about animals, it could get pretty unnerving at the same time. Now, I'll leave it at that. No spoilers. But right out of the gate, it's looking like this film is really going to be heavily reliant on the word of mouth, okay? This thing is really got to take off with the word of mouth. People have to come out and say, this thing is amazing, and go and watch it. I said that on previous videos, so let's see where it's at right now in terms of its audience appeal. So you can see right off the bat, it's getting an excellent audience score, okay, at 96%. So that's a good score, okay? You can't sneeze at that. That's a good score. And then over here on IMDb, it's got a user rating of 8.3%. You see most of these ratings are in 10s and 9s and 8s. So most people are saying, yeah, this is an 8 and above. Go check it out. It's a good film, all right? We got to see what the cinema score says, because the cinema score will get like actual reactions and grades for people coming out of the theaters after that. But so far, so good with the word of mouth. Let's go ahead and read what Deadline had to say about it. So Disney Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy saw momentum last night with previews rising to 17.5 million, which is very good for the movie. And as I stated, right, this is the article about Ant-Man and the Wasp, right, when Ant-Man and the Wasp dropped, okay? Friday afternoon, you can see Disney Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is headed to the third highest opening for President's Day weekend, as well as February. 4-day estimates are wild, 115 to 125, all right? But what does that include? That included last night's 17.5 million, right? And that's again Friday afternoon, so last night would have been Thursday at the time of this writing. So yeah, it did 17.5. Guardians of the Galaxy did 17.5, right? Very precarious, all right? So this thing right off the bat looks like it's going to line up right there with Quantumania, okay? Had the same Thursday. It's probably going to get a little bit better. I think it'll probably do better than what Quantumania did in its 3-day total. I think it was like $106 million or something like that in this 3-day total, not including that President's Day Monday. So yeah, I think Guardians is going to fall probably somewhere between that 110 to 120 mark, okay? Which is not that good, because look, a lot of you guys in the comments have already pointed out to me that this thing is going to have lots of competition. So check out the domestic release schedule that's coming up within the month of May and June. Let's look at this real quick. So Guardians, obviously, that just dropped May 5. Okay, that just came out. Nothing big in terms of the next weekend, okay? You got a wide release, The Book Club with Jane Fonda or Diane Keaton, okay? That's not going to be any real competition, okay? You know, you got the Rally Road Racers. It says it's a wide release. Never heard of it, okay? But this thing is going to come out. Looks like a kid's film. Okay, I think it'll be fine. It won't have any issues with that. No other real wide releases during that time. Now we get to May 19, okay? 2 weekends from now. What do we got? Fast X, okay? A lot of you guys have been mentioning, oh, Fast X going to wipe this thing off the map, all right? It's going to dominate, absolutely, and I agree. You know, I don't think this film is going to do very well after its second weekend going up against Fast X. And then you're going to have this film, Monica, another wide release. I never heard of it. But nevertheless, Fast X alone is enough to take some of the steam out of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think most people that are interested in this film will go and watch it this weekend. Okay, you'll have a few stragglers going in to see it from now until May 19. And then that's going to be it. Okay, I think after May 19, there's going to be a huge drop off. Obviously, May 26th, we're going to have The Little Mermaid, okay? That's going to be dropping. And then when we get to June 2nd, what do we got? Oh, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, all right? That's going to be dropping. That's going to be a huge release, all right? So right after we get past this next weekend, the following weekend from this, May 12, May 19, we get Fast X. May 26th, Little Mermaid. You're going to have June the 2nd, you're going to have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. When we get to June 9, all right, now we're talking about Transformers, okay? There's going to be movie after movie. After that, we go through June again. We're going to have Elemental on June the 23rd. Another, big Disney release, I don't know how well it's going to do. But again, this is all interference for what Guardians of the Galaxy can put out there, okay? And then, of course, right after that, once we get to June 30, we're going to have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, all right? I think by the time we get to June 30, Guardians 3 is going to be pretty much done. Its box office will be over. All right, so I don't know if Indiana Jones will really get in its way. But you saw all of the films that are going to be running between now and then are going to just get in its way. They said, despite the threequel having the longest running time of an installment in the trilogy at 2.5 hours, that's not so long to greatly offset business. I disagree. I don't think people are going to want to sit through this movie multiple times, multiple screenings, all right? They probably will watch it once, but they won't go back a second time, and that's where Marvel really made a lot of their money, on the second and third and fourth and fifth viewings for a lot of fans, okay? I don't think people are going to go sit through this a second time. Some will, obviously, but not as many as they used to, which is what many believe happened with Wakanda Forever at 2 hours and 41 minutes, even though it was 11 minutes longer. Again, when it comes to those superhero movies, many times their running times aren't a hindrance to the box office because they're on several screens and a complex given their demand. Yeah, Guardians was showing all over the screens, on every screen that they could have at the theater that I went to, okay? But here's the thing. I told you guys, my theater may be 40-50% full. Okay, maybe 40 to 50% full. I got like a partial picture I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, so this is the theater that I went to, at least partial of it. I was trying to get the whole pan and scan thing going. It didn't work. Now, this is the theater that I went to, okay, where I saw this film. This is right when the film was about to start, right? Right when Nicole Kidman is walking around talking her shit or whatever, This is when that moment was. I took this picture right then. And you can see there ain't nobody up in this front seat except this one old lady, this lonely woman right here. In this group, there was like a guy here. I think this is a woman or a guy. I'm not sure. There's a lady here, okay? That was about it. That was it for this row. All right. Then you get to this next row right here. Okay. This row, this chick right here, there was like 2 people sitting to the side of her. All right. Most of the, nothing else. Okay. I think like later on, like a few people sat down at the end. All right. I think like 3 or 4 people. Okay. This row completely empty with the exception of a couple of people here and a couple of people over here. And that was it. And then my row, I think, I'm standing right where I'm sitting, obviously. You can't see it on this, but there were a couple of people sitting over here to my right, okay? And then there was a couple at the far end over on my left sitting. That was it. All right, I would say like maybe 40% full, all right? As the movie went on, as people started coming in, late stragglers with their snacks and stuff, I think, again, by the time it got to where it was, and that was it was about 40%, all right? And that's 40% not including this, like, section up here that nobody really ever sits at, okay? I think this person was the only person that sat in this area, all right? So look at all of these seats. These are all butts and seats that Marvel ain't got, along with some of these other ones, okay? Again, maybe 40, 50% if I'm being generous. all right, in terms of how many people packed it into this thing. So yeah, we got to keep our eye on this because I think this is showing you the brand damage of Marvel. This thing would have been packed at any other film, okay? It was definitely packed in Doctor Strange. It was packed during Spider-Man No Way Home, all the Avengers films, Infinity War and Endgame. These types of theaters were jam-packed. And now, right when the movie screening is starting, all right, and Nicole Kidman is out there, this place is virtually empty. So again, I'm not making this stuff up. I said I'm gonna take a picture and make sure that I'm showing folks what I'm talking about. Okay. And yeah, so I think at the end of the day, we got to watch Marvel right now for its brand. Because look, Kevin Feige is recognizing this stuff. He's changing out all the directors. He's changing out all the writers. Okay, even though they on strike, he's changing them out. He's like, nah, we got to get better writing. We got to get better filmmakers out here to do the work. All right, because what we did in Phase 4, it completely wrecked our brand, okay? We're going to keep our eye on it, okay, all weekend long to see where this thing lines up. Because if this thing falls anywhere around that 106 or 108 million or whatever Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania did, it's a cold wrap. This thing is getting good word of mouth. And if nobody goes out and sees this thing this weekend, yeah, I think it might be done and dusted, okay? But you guys let me know what you think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Leave me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.